Chapter 2. Best Birthday Gift. My dad would always go all out for my birthday. This year he decided to have a barbecue at the house. He invited everyone he thought had a connection to me. I guess it was his way of trying to make me feel more popular than I was. With his credit, he at least knew who my real friends were. I had a small but close group, and that's all I needed. Luke was my best friend. Miley was my next closest friend. Paige was Miley's best friend, and then we had the twins, Logan and Brooke. Luke and I had been friends for years, and we met the other four in the first year of secondary school. We bonded over the clear oversight in the school's motto: ambition, support, safety. They were the only people I needed to have a good time with. It was nice for my dad to be around his friends, as he didn't get out much due to looking after me. His friends consisted of a few guys who he knew from around the local area. One of them being my teacher, Mr. Wick. Then there was Jeff, who was a doctor, Alan, who I think was a policeman, and Zavi, who owned a local Chinese takeaway called Walk This Way. My dad was very different to me, as he had always so much confidence. He loved having the spotlight on him, while I happily stayed in the background. This was hard to do at your birthday party, and especially when you get to the presents. Paige got me my favourite sweets, and the twins, in an effort to outdo each other, had both gotten me different horror novels. One was called The Parade, and the other The Hellfire Club. Once I finished reading them, the twins would no doubt probe me to see which one I liked better. Eventually, we got to my dad's present. He was beaming with excitement. It was a hefty present. When he handed it to me, I almost dropped it due to the weight catching me off guard. I could barely contain myself as I used my nails to scratch and claw at the horrendous wrapping that my dad had done. Eventually, I broke through the paper and exposed the brown leather case underneath. It was a case. I looked up my dad again, looking for a hint of what it could be. He gave nothing away, apart from that he was really ecstatic. I unlatched the case, removed the top, and looked inside to find it was a pair of binoculars. As presents go, probably not what most 15-year-olds would have wanted, but to me it had a special meaning. My dad had his own pair of binoculars, and it was through these binoculars he first saw my mum. He had said he was out bird watching at his local park and was scanning the area when he saw her. He said he instantly became infatuated with her and needed to talk to her. I could see the rest of the people in the room confused by the present, but to me, it was the best gift he had ever given me, and I thought I would cherish them forever. My dad wanted my first outing with the new binoculars to be with him. It had always been a special bonding time for me and my dad. We would often go to places where you wouldn't usually go for bird watching. We would go to more populated areas to see if we could find any birds who were thriving within the urban environment, or at least that's what my dad said. I didn't know any different, as this is what we've always done. Got to the beach of the local park where we'd find some birds. We never saw anything that was rare or out of the ordinary. On this particular trip, we went to a new location, a park that we had never been to before. It was just outside of Glasgow. It was a hot day, and we sat next to a lovely pond where people were walking around, like always. My dad would find a particular spot he liked. He would either set up a camping chair or find a place that already had a seat for us to sit down on. I would talk, and he would have his binoculars. This time, however, I could join in. He would point things out to me when he saw something that was of interest to him. He would then write things in his notebook. It was a brown leather notebook, very similar to the brown leather case that came with my binoculars. My dad's binocular case and the notebook had been embroidered on the front with the letters BW. They were done in some fancy gold material, and it looked important. I asked him what it meant, and he said it stood for bird watching. My dad was very unoriginal with these sorts of things. In the notebook, he would always note down the bird type, location, and where he found it. He would then try and guess its weight, colour and sex. I had never seen that inside the notebook, but I imagined it would be very boring. I loved looking at the birds, but didn't care that much about gaining knowledge about them. While he was writing, I was scanning the horizon. We were talking, laughing and joking, and my dad was about to finish up when he was scanning the last of the banks of a pond in the tree line. He said something that caught me off guard. "Oh wow, she's beautiful." I picked up my binoculars to see what he was talking about, but I couldn't see any birds. All I could see was a family, a male and a female, and what appeared to be their young son. As I watched them, I felt myself studying the woman and looking at every inch of her, and she was very beautiful. After a short period of time looking at her, I felt weird, like a creep. I pulled him down to see my dad staring at me with a smile on his face. It felt awkward, so to break the silence, I said, "Yeah, she is beautiful." My dad's smile grew even larger. We got into the car and we started to drive away. I was checking my things and realised that I didn't know where my binoculars were. I swore I'd put them in my bag. I started pulling stuff out of the bag, and the deeper I got, the more I started to panic. They weren't there. "What's wrong, son?" my dad queried. "Nothing," I replied sheepishly, while still trying to look for them. I was at the bottom of my bag and nothing. I searched around my feet. I looked in the bag again, under the seat, anywhere I thought the binoculars could be. I looked, but they were nowhere to be seen. I was in such a panic I didn't even know that my dad had pulled over the car. "Jonathan," my dad said, with a tone that was unusual for him. It lacked any warmth and it instantly got my attention. As I looked at him, he had the binoculars in his hand. "I need you to understand something, son. These binoculars are very important to me, and over time they will be to you as well. I need you to do a much better job at looking after them. You know how binoculars have changed my life, and my hope is that these will open doors for you and provide you with opportunities that I was given. You must cherish them, make them an extension of you, and never let them out of your sight again. Do you understand?" I had never seen my dad like this. It was as if he were a different person. I was uncomfortable and a little bit scared of him. I knew the gift was important, but clearly I didn't fully understand just how much they meant to him. I gave him a nod and replied, "I won't let you down. I will look after them." The smile and benevolence returned to his face, and once again he was the dad I knew.